So today I want to do something a little bit more advanced, and this idea comes to me by way of one of you guys, one of my viewers and one of my guild members, an active rating member of my guild, who says, I recommend diving into the conditionals as well when we're talking about weak wars. At least for me on my Boomkin, his balanced druid, my Moonfire and Sunfire have conditionals that when a certain time threshold hits, they light up and become very obvious. Not sure how familiar you are with the API of actually coding them, but much of this stuff can be accomplished through the GUI editor. So that second comment, the LUA, the Lua script, LUA, I'm actually working on a side project. You guys can totally hear the dog in the background. She is fast asleep. But yeah, that's a separate project for a separate video for a separate day. But I think this is a good idea, that we want to start stepping into things that are maybe a little bit more relevant for rating, right? And this is an excellent one when you're on a very dot-heavy class. Off the top of my head, a Shadow Priest, obviously the Affliction Warlock that we're on today, Balanced Druid, something where you really want to focus on making sure that your dots, your damage over time abilities do not drop off of a target, because that is a huge loss in DPS and procs and, you know, all these other things. And today we're going to make a simple weak aura, and then I'm going to show you guys the conditional menu so that we can go ahead and add this glowing effect that one of my raiders is talking about. So to start off with, we're always going to bring up the weak auras menu, and again, we're going to ignore these three. We don't really care about them. We're going to create an icon, and the reason we're going to create an icon is because we're going to make it gigantic in our face. So we're going to kind of move it over there a little bit. For the trigger, we don't care about any of the display stuff. You guys can change that if you want. We're not worried about that right now. However, what we do want to do is we're going to create an aura, and we're going to track agony, because that is one that we want to track, and we're going to make it gigantic. I don't know if I showed you guys this before, but if I did not, you can actually drag and resize the weak auras themselves. So you can also go to display. I know I showed you guys that, but we're going to make this thing gigantic because we really want to track our weak aura. We're going to make it ridiculously large. And we're tracking it on a target. We want to make sure that it's a debuff because that's what it is. And for this instance, and really you should be mindful to make sure you're doing this, we want to track only our own. I don't care if your warlock does or doesn't have agony on the target. I only care about mine. And we're going to give it a name, agony, and that should be good. So what you're going to see here, we close the weak aura menu, we got nothing. We're going to click down on agony, and it's gigantic. It's right in our face. Now, this is great and all. You know, it gives us 18 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's 18 seconds. 18 seconds of this dot, this weak aura being in our face. And that's great and all, but we want to make sure that this thing doesn't drop off of our target. And the problem here is very rarely do you have raid bosses where there's a patchwork style fight where things aren't moving around, there's not fire on the ground, you don't have to worry about it, and you can focus 110% on your rotation. No raids are like that anymore. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't think of anyone where it's just strictly a DPS race. Maybe Varimathras, but even so, there's a little bit of movement and you got to run out for things. So what we want to do is, just like one of my raiders mentioned, we're going to add a conditional statement that when a certain threshold of time hits, that this thing glows, that goes, holy crap, we really need to focus on this spell and make sure that it doesn't drop off. So again, we're going to bring up the weak aura menu. We're going to ignore these three. We're going to go over to conditions. Instead of triggers, we're going to add a condition on top of this, okay? So obviously the add condition button, we're going to click that, and it's a very simple menu. If this, then that. And that's what you guys need to think in your head is if what? If something is active, if there's, you know, a caster, if there's a certain name, remaining duration, stacks, total duration, etc. For us, we are focusing on remaining duration. We don't want this thing to drop off. Now, we want to make sure that we give ourselves, and this is something that you should be thinking of when you're creating your weak auras, is how much time do I personally need to go, whoa, that thing's glowing and it's in my face and I really need to do something. You know, is a second long enough? Is 3 seconds? Is 5 seconds? Whatever the case might be. And then you're going to tell it what operator. So let's say we want to make it 5 seconds, okay? Now, This, guys, I will stress to you, please understand your operators, because there's a 1 second difference, which I know isn't that big of a deal, between less than and less than or equal. And that's what that means right there. Less than or equal, obviously greater than or equal, and then not equal to. Okay, so please understand your operators here. We're going to make it 5 seconds. So if it's 5 seconds or less before agony falls off, I need to know, because I'm paying attention to other things. I'm calling out targets. I'm directing the raid, and I could royally screw up my DPS if I don't do this. So we're going to say 5 seconds, and we're going to hit OK. Now, what do we want to do? Okay, 5 seconds is left on agony. What do I care about? Do I care about changing the text color, text size, etc.? No. What I want to do is I want to make this thing glow. You can make a sound. You can do all kinds of stuff, and this is really useful. So for right now, we're just gonna make it glue. We're gonna make it glue. We're gonna make it glow. So again, we are gonna hit number 3, and this thing is rolling. It's getting charges on the enemy. DPS is rolling out on our pathetically weak Affliction Warlock is like 840, 844, and we're running around. We're dodging fire, and holy shit! We only have 5 seconds left until agony drops off. Agony drops off, of course. Now I'm going to show this to you again because what I want to do is we're raiding, we're DPSing, we're doing our rotation, and agony is going to start to glow, meaning we need to make sure that we recast it. It gets our attention. Boom. That glow goes away. And very simply, you can keep track of your rotation, your important abilities. You can reduce the amount of things that you are forgetting, draw attention to certain things, all by adding conditional statements on top of what you already have. So a big thanks to my friend Kyle, one of my active raiders in the guild. Thank you. That's an awesome idea. I love it. I think it's very helpful. If you guys, even if, any of my raiders or you guys have any ideas for weak auras that you want to see in here, I have a whole list of them that you guys have given me already. Keep them coming. I want to keep doing this. Keep making these videos for you guys. Let me know, comment section down below. If you have anything for me, feel free to contact me, email, YouTube, comment section, whatever you guys want to do. Until next time, I'll see ya.